No question, Homo sapiens have a sweet tooth, probably a motivator for exploration, trade, and civilization progress. Bee stings were not severe enough to keep people from invading beehives for the honey. When sugarcane was discovered in Southeast Asia, it was not long before granulated sugar processing was invented. Then sugarcane quickly traveled around the equatorial world, first Asia, then west until migrating to the New World. It was claimed that a massive sugar trade required slaves, which decimated the lives of millions. A very old Egyptian pharaoh, Ramses II, had massive tooth decay, which may have killed him. He also had arthritis and other ailments. Because it was over 3,200 years ago, advances in dental care was not an Egyptian specialty. Fast forward about 3 millennia, George Washington did not have a single tooth left in his mouth when he died. No doubt tooth decay has been around. Granted, it was generally of little concern for most because people didn't live that long or have resources to pig out on candy. Pharaoh and George were relatively old and rich. Creative craftspeople in the ancient world soon turned anything sweet into some form of candy, creating capitalist money and trade opportunities. Make anything sweet and customers will come. What's sweet? Lots of fruits, prunes, and raisins, to name a few. The New World had lots of resources, but many food products were missing, including almost all livestock. There were no honeybees or sugarcane. The Aztec emperor drank only chocolate, but it was flavored with chilies, not sweet stuff. It took the Columbian Exchange to bring sugarcane and honeybees at the extreme cost of perhaps 80% of the indigenous population, plus extensive slavery. Honey was number one for candy before sugar, including in ancient China, Egypt, the Middle East, Greece, and Rome. A common form was coating fruit with honey for the flavor and to help preserve it. Many of the fruits originated in Asia, including apples, plums, pears, and cherries, improved by China's development of grafting. Then they made it to Greece and Rome via by sea and the Silk Road. Honey is something like nectar barf or a gift from the gods. People collected it from either wild bee colonies or hives of domesticated bees. Candy can be made using boiling honey and adding ingredients like cinnamon, vanilla, cider vinegar, and butter. Pour into molds and let cool. There must have been dozens of similar recipes over thousands of years. Licorice is a perennial legume native to Eurasia with a sweet flavoring. Its use as a candy may have started by eating the dried root. Licorice was probably used in the ancient world of the Fertile Crescent as a medicine or to make a sweet drink. Evidence includes King Tut's tomb. Candy was made using licorice extract with a binding agent like starch or flour, sweetened with honey and later sugar. Ginger is a flowering plant with the ginger root used as a spice and medicine initially in Southeast Asia and migrating west as part of the spice trade. It was used as a medicinal drug. Confucius wrote about how he consumed ginger at each meal. Ginger was used as a spice for cooking and made into candy by boiling and adding honey. Ginger in Europe was used for gingerbread, cookies, ginger ale, and also candied. Comfit is a candy made of dried fruits, nuts, seeds, or spices coated with sugar. Medieval recipes for comfits used anise seeds, fennel, caraway, coriander, and diced ginger. Almond comfits were associated with Muslim celebrations. A similar comfit was Jordan almonds. Initially, almonds were covered with honey, replaced when sugar became available around the 15th century. Marsipan is sugar and ground almond candy. It may have come from China, then through the Middle East to Europe, or initially around the Mediterranean, or both independently. Pralines used nuts, including almonds, pecans, and hazelnuts, to make candy. The original French pralines used almonds and caramelized sugar was probably created by a 17th century chef. A later alternative, common in Louisiana, used ground up caramel coated nuts mixed with cream. In addition, the ground up nuts could be mixed with chocolate to make pastries and cakes. Several of the early candies were made with sugar. It's time to describe the importance of the discovery and use of sugar in candy next time on Food History and Mystery.